Okay, we'll go ahead and start the West Jordan Planning Commission pre-meeting for June 3rd, 2025. All commission members are here except for Tom Hollingsworth and Jimmy Anderson for the pre-meeting. So we'll go ahead and get started. And first off, I got a question for our attorney, Mr. Duncan. We need to appoint somebody to the CDBG committee. There we go. I hate all those things. Can we do that in pre-meeting, or do we have to wait for our formal?
Where it's mainly procedural, I would say you could go ahead and do that during your pre-meeting. And what I would recommend, and then they could start meeting with the committee and fulfilling responsibilities. I still think it's always nice to put it back on the next agenda as an actual main meeting agenda item and just kind of ratify that. But it doesn't mean that if you choose somebody tonight, they couldn't start meeting right away. I just think it's good to follow
I got
up
the
next
impression
time.
that meetings are like pretty quick.
Yeah, and so, yeah, they may all be done before, but it's still nice, even if it's after the fact, to just ratify it with a formal vote in a regular meeting at maybe your next meeting. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, before we get started on the official agenda then, I would like to know if anybody would be interested in serving on the CDBG committee.
Can you remind us what the time commitment is?
Megan?
So our application is going to open in a couple weeks, and then we'll meet in the afternoons, probably for a couple hours, maybe once or twice a week for 3 weeks at the end of June into July.
If I remember right, when I served on it, I think it was like every week for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then it just, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of intense for a little bit, but not for very long.
And what it is we have grant money from HUD to do different projects for low and moderate income people. And we have applications from different nonprofit groups mostly to do projects, and the committee will be reviewing their applications and voting on them.
Anybody willing to? If not, I will go ahead and fill in that spot. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it sounds awesome.
As long as it's not on my trip to lava. Sorry.
When you say afternoons, like what time kind of are we talking about?
Probably 1 to 3, somewhere in there.
Got it. Yeah, I would love to do it, but I don't think it works with my schedule for this year.
All right, if everybody's okay, I'll throw my name in that ring, and then we can formally do this next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Okay. Now that that unformality stuff is done, we'll start on the agenda. First off, we have on the agenda is the minutes from last meeting, which there was a lot. And I appreciate Julie, because I didn't find any problems at all, so. But there was a lot there, so.
All I got is I spoke too much.
Questions are good.
Questions are good. Okay, so it doesn't appear that anybody has any comments or concerns about that, so then we will go ahead and get started on the consent. That's the public hearing meetings, and we'll start off with the Terrain Plat 8 subdivision, which looks like Ray.
Yes, the applicant will be here to talk about it. It's just the 8th subdivision plat in the terrain development. I don't know if there's a whole lot to talk about other than it's just a 71 lot subdivision located in terrain. This will actually be the one that will go up around the east side of the temple and meeting house site. So it's still served by the Kearns Improvement District.
I drive by it all the time.
Yeah. It's coming together. It's kind of interesting to see it develop out.
Any questions? Okay. Next is our St. Marco Circle, the 7892 and 7898 South 2200 West preliminary subdivision plan. And it looks like Megan.
Yeah, so this is a 5-lot subdivision across from City Hall and on the other side of Veterans Memorial Park. They are doing 11,000 square foot lots. It's an R110 zone. It meets the future land use map. It meets zoning. I know we've had a few comments that you may have seen. But yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, I browsed through most of them. I think most of us probably did, but
Oh, sorry, one more point. You will need to approve the fencing that they'll have to put up along the canal. I think they're proposing vinyl fencing, and if not, if you don't want that, then they would prefer chain link after that, so.
And Chair, because this could draw some people from the community, it might be a good, I mean, we're happy to support the commission however you want, but we, you know, whether it's you or staff, we could just provide a brief explanation as to the parameters, the scope that the commission is looking at tonight.
I planned on doing that before I opened up the
Perfect.
public comment.
Yeah.
Now, one of the comments that was made previously, and I'll leave this up to as a group, but when we cut time down for public comment, I think that created more of an issue than we were trying to save. So as much as we all want to go home, I would prefer that we just give them the 3 minutes that's allotted and, okay. Yeah, do we want to address anything about the water usage from the canal? Or is that something that's kind of outside our scope? Where somebody was admitting that they were actually taking water out of the,
Oh.
No. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something you'd leave to city staff to follow up on. But yeah, I do think the main issue tonight is that, and it's the tough thing for the public, that they don't understand the basic land use laws, that if it's an administrative application and they meet all the requirements of the city code, then you have to approve of it. And even if they don't meet something, if they fix it so that they do meet it, then at that point you have to grant it anyway. I think that basic principle, as quickly as I just described it, I would venture to say that 90% plus of our residents, as simple as that is, once you know it, until you know it, you don't know it, and they don't know it, right? And I think by virtue sometimes of having a public hearing, people have the mistaken understanding that if they get enough people to turn in statements or come to the podium, make a public comment, that somehow you have the authority as a planning commission to just turn it down, even though it 100% completely meets all the code requirements. At any rate, I think that's great that you're thinking of explaining that to the public so that they're not unmistakably upset about something they thought you had the authority to do that you didn't, or whatever. So I think it's great to explain it, because it's hard, because to us it's second nature, right? We understand it, but I think what was clear from the comments that were forwarded is the people clearly didn't understand that basic tenet of land use law, right? So
that's my opinion too, but, and we also want to be, transparent and make sure that we
yeah.
get people.
And
so-
I think it's great that you're ready, willing, and able to give everybody their full 3 minutes, and even if it takes us an hour, and it just is what it is, right? So,
In that same vein, I don't know what you're comfortable with, but if we could encourage people to speak from the heart rather than reading off another 40-page script, that, I think we had some good conversations after the meeting, and
We did.
really emphasize that to people, and, let them look at this as a practice round to getting to city council where they actually have some leeway to
Yeah.
listen more and act on it more.
This
Oh.
one doesn't have anything going to city council.
It doesn't, and
Stops
I'll
with
make
us.
sure that's explained also.
But, and I'm on board with everybody having the 3 minutes. I think we also need to, I don't know how we say this, other than just say it, but 5 minutes for groups. And so if there is a prepared written statement and they're expecting everybody to take their turns reading, no, that's a group. They get 5 minutes on the statement, then it's from the heart and from the heart only.
No, I would agree with that. Any other comments or questions or anything? Okay. Next on the agenda is the Victory Builders on 90th South and 13th West, and it looks like Taylor.
Yeah, thank you. This is a 36-lot condo subdivision and site plan for some flex-use office and retail spaces. It's on that weird shaped property behind H Mart that we rezoned last year.
Any,
I'm happy to answer any questions.
any questions? Comments? Okay, and last, this one is actually a public hearing with just recommendations to the city council, and that's Parker Place 2 on 1739 West Drake Lane. And that looks like Taylor again.
Yeah, that's me. So there are two applications on this. The first is to amend the future land use map from professional office to medium density residential, which is what the property just to the north and basically on all sides of it is medium density residential. And then a rezone from PO to R15. When we're looking at this, one thing we do want to make sure that we're focusing on is this is a land use question. So there might be questions coming about like on-street parking. That's not an appropriate conversation for the rezone. We should just focus on the changing of land use and the rezone application. So we can address those later at subdivision phase if this ever does get rezoned.
So once it does get to the city council and they do approve it, it'll come back to us if there's actually
That's correct. So it'll go to city council for a rezone approval. If that's approved, then it'd have to come back to this body for a preliminary plat.
okay.
It's just a concept plan that they've shown right now, but it is 4 lots and then keeping the existing drainage basin. So it's kind of complete that Drake Lane, so there'd be construction on both sides of that lane at this time.
So just, this is kind of a discussion. So anything less than 10 lots or 9 lots can be done administratively unless this gets tripped into a major subdivision, right? I'm looking at Larry and,
Yeah, this would be a minor subdivision, so
But
it
would
wouldn't
not
come
come
back to
back.
planning commission.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Because their dedication took place
right.
at the time of the original Parker Place, so.
Taylor, could you explain the context behind the picture that Jeanette Drake sent in? I was just, the commentary on the curb and whatnot, I just didn't understand what the context was there.
Yeah, so I think that goes back to when the original cottages at Parker Place was developed. At the end of that Drake Lane, the plans showed a curb going across the end of that, so that's how the builder installed it. After it was found out that, you know, it was blocking off access to their lot, it was fixed. That curb was ground down. I think that was actually done by the city. So that curb was ground down and removed, but there was a short period of time where there was a curb going across the lane.
So nothing to do with the current application?
Correct.
Any other questions? Okay, that is everything for our pre-meeting. We'll go ahead and adjourn for 13 minutes. Okay, it is time. We will go ahead and start the West Jordan Planning Commission meeting for June 3rd, 2025, with the notation that all commissioners are present. Commissioner Anderson is on Zoom. We will start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Gonzalez is going to lead us.
stand if you are able, and ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, everybody. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from our last meeting. Commissioner Hatch.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
I will second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, carries 7-0. I'm assuming, Jimmy, you didn't have any objections?
I did not.
Okay. For this purpose, unless you've got something to say, if we hear from you, we'll assume that it's a negative. Otherwise, that'll be a positive if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, super. Thank you. Okay. First up is the public hearing with final action by the Planning Commission, Terrain Plat 8 Subdivision 7400 South and SR 111 Preliminary Subdivision Plat, 71 residential lots, 1 transfer development open space, TDOS lot, and 6 park lots on 15.176 acres, and sub-area development plan, PCH, MDA Zone 3rd, Cadence and Gary Langston. I know you've been here once or twice. Please state your name for the record.
Good evening, Planning Commissioners. Gary Langston with 3rd Cadence in the Terrain Development. As you covered pretty succinctly, I shared some of the things that I wanted to bring for you. Terrain Plat 8. It's 71 lots, about 15 acres. It's a mix of attached and detached product. You'll notice that there's a portion of the project that lies to the west, and then there's a section that's to the east as well. That's largely to allow us to meet the segmentation requirements that we have for each of our builders. The higher density homes are further to the east, and the less dense ones are further to the west. Similar to the other plats within Terrain, this is a logical extension of the existing infrastructure. We're really just building on to what has been approved previously, and in some cases has been constructed already. We're actively building plats 4 and 5, and we'll start plat 6 in the coming months, and then 7 and 8 will follow in the months to follow. So it's our opinion that it meets all the requirements under the MDA and the PCH zone, and so we'd formally ask your approval. And with that, I'll leave it to you to ask any questions that you may have for me.
Any questions for the applicant? Commissioner Allen.
Unrelated to the plat, but just, you're here often enough. How are sales going generally?
Sales are going well. We've sold about 35 homes so far within the development. We're trying to get all of our segments up and running. We have about 3/4 of them with models underway or completed, and hope to finish up the remaining segments by the end of the year so that we have full sales opportunity anywhere from townhomes up to as expensive as you can imagine.
Yeah, I don't want to imagine. Are you far enough along that you're getting an idea? Is it the townhome selling faster, the single-family lots? Purely academic, I'm just curious.
Generally speaking, right now, what's selling the fastest is the most expensive stuff, which is not unusual for the market right now. It's not to say that we aren't seeing sales across all the segments, but those have clearly been the most popular. I would say that the stuff that's north of $1.5 million.
Good for you.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, if we have any other questions, we'll call you up.
Thank you.
Okay, Ray.
Thank you. I don't know there's much more than I can add. It's a pretty straightforward subdivision. It does comply with the requirements of the PCH zone. and the MDA that was, was adopted. So our recommendation is for approval, subject to our recommendations that are listed in the staff report. Be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions for staff? Okay. This has been noticed as a public hearing, so you'll be given 3 minutes. Please approach the podium and state your name. Also, since we have a lot of items here on the agenda, I want to just make a note that if you are here for a group, you'll be given 5 minutes. And, excuse me, we appreciate all of you guys' attention and attendance, I should say, and we'd like to hear from each and every one of you. But if you're reading from a prepared statement, we can take that prepared statement and actually enter it into our minutes, but we really want to hear from you personally and your personal comments, and not a prepared statement, unless, of course, you prepared that statement and that's your feelings. So please, with that in mind, we will go ahead and open it up. Anybody wishing to speak on this item? If you are online, please raise your hand. If you're on the phone, *9.
There are no hands raised online.
Okay, then we'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back up to the commission for comments and/or motions. Commissioner Hatch.
I'll go ahead and make a motion.
Okay.
I move that the Planning Commission approve the preliminary major subdivision plat and preliminary sub-area plan for Terrain Plat 8 subdivision located on approximately 15.176 acres at 7400 South, SR 111, with the conditions and requirements of approval listed in this report.
We have a motion. Commissioner Roberts?
I'll second that motion.
And a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that carries 7-0. Next is item 3 on the agenda, St. Marcos Circle, 7892 and 7898 South, 2200 West, a preliminary subdivision plat, 5 lots on 1.73 acres, R110 zone. Darren Junker. Approach the podium and
thank you. So I'm Darren Junker. I'm just here to seek approval for the plat. We've addressed all the comments that we believe have come to light. And I think it's pretty simple. It's just a cul-de-sac, 5 lots that meet the current zoning. And that's about it.
any questions for the applicant? Okay, we'll call you up if we have anything.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see, who is this? Taylor. Oh, Megan. I'm ahead, sorry.
Thank you. I'll just fill in a few points. So this is just across the street from Veterans Memorial Park on 2200 West. The lot, or the parcels, consist of 3 parcels currently. Together they are all 1.72 acres. It's currently zoned as R110, and the future land use map is low-density residential, and the subdivision they're proposing meets the zoning and future land use map. This is what they're proposing. It meets all of the zoning requirements, and engineering and utilities and fire have all looked at it, and the traffic engineer as well. They don't see any major issues with it. They will have to put up a fence per city code along the canal, and they are proposing vinyl fencing or chain link fencing. That is something that should be approved by the Planning Commission. And so I think that's all. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions for staff? Commissioner Hatch.
Just one comment on the fencing. As you've probably known from previous meetings, the vinyl fencing is prone to graffiti. So I don't know where we go with chain link, but that, as we move through this, that is where I'm thinking.
I think we can discuss that after we open it for public hearing, but yeah, I know that has been an issue, especially along the canals. Okay, before I open this up to a public hearing, I want to just make a quick comment that this is a public hearing and you are here to speak however you feel about this project, but us as a commission are very limited on what we can do as far as our ability to vote on anything, because this is not a rezone or anything like that. So just with that in mind, and this will not go to the city council. So once the vote has been done today, it will go on. So with that being said, we will go ahead and open that up for public hearing. If you're here to speak on that, please state your name, and you'll be given 3 minutes.
My name is Chris Healy. I have 54 letters of opposition that I'd like to request 5 minutes to speak for a group.
Okay.
Okay.
We've actually received that. That's the same email that we received? No. Oh, it's not? Okay.
Okay. My name is Chris Healy, and I'm writing to express my deep concern about the direction of the development in the heart of West Jordan. It feels contradictory that a commission that works so diligently to preserve our heritage by relocating historic structures like the Stedman Barn might also consider changes that displace the culture currently thriving there. It's hard to understand how a city center that takes such pride in honoring the past, whether it be through endorsing educational landmarks, erecting beautiful culture centers and museums, or establishing a stunning veterans memorial, might not extend the same care and consideration to people, homes, and the community that shaped the life along 2200 West today. I'm proud that we have done what we have done to honor our history. Wouldn't it be more meaningful, cost-effective to preserve what we have today instead of attempting to remember, rebuild, and relocate these things in the future? This location isn't just a piece of land, it's in the heart of West Jordan. It's where our community gathers for youth sports, holiday festivals, and solemn memorials. It's where life happens for residents in the center. It's the center of daily life. For visitors, it's their first impression of who we are. So why wouldn't we hold this area and its homes that represent it to a higher standard? These properties should reflect the very best of West Jordan, showcasing the kind of life that sets us apart from other cities. This is the kind of life which includes wide open spaces, homes with a history. Where we live, the neighbors have close relationships, but room to breathe and deepen their roots. With so much available space to the west, it's worth questioning why we prioritize more houses in our city center instead of more pressing issues that deserve our attention. These include concerns like the dangerous visibility on 2200 West, where the residents are struggling to safely check their mail or exit their driveways on game days. Children chasing balls and are one step away from traffic. Visitors parked on the side of the road get out of their cars in the middle of the roadway. Vehicle congestion that turns even small family gatherings into a difficult situation to navigate. Additionally, code enforcement is already stretched thin in this area, struggling to keep up with current demands. Adding more residents without addressing these existing challenges would strain the community's infrastructure and quality of life that much more. To the commission, I ask what happens next for those of us that remain along the street. Will we see our properties slowly diminish through tools like eminent domain and in the name of accommodating more people, more houses, and more traffic? I respectfully urge the Planning Commission to please reconsider the outstanding proposal. I'm asking for you to consider the cost of the proposal beyond the bottom line. I'm asking you to continue the journey of moving the heart of West Jordan into a better, more beautiful, safer future, but not at the cost of the current residents and our way of life. I'd also like to add that these current residents they're used to a certain amount of privacy, and if something can't be made done to help block this this new plan, I would ask for at least an 8-foot stone fence along the adjoining houses and some sort of flood mitigation, because there's a lot of houses around there that use the South Jordan Canal behind it to water their gardens and their lawns and the green area that's around there. So I would really like if we could keep that in mind. I also want to take one notice that the future land use map does notice that, and you guys did say this, that this is a low-density residential. I understand that's not the current zoning, but it is low-density residential, and I do fail to see how this goes with that plan, because that does not seem like low density to me. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time today. My name is Dean Healy. I live on 2200 West. We've contacted a few people, including City Council, with our concerns and have been told basically the decision is made, but I think it's kind of important to understand a little bit of a history of this area, especially for West Jordan. West Jordan is deep in history and rich history. In this area specifically, about the same time as Archibald Gardner came into the city valley, my great-grandfather, George Matthew Webster, also came in. They started residing down by the Jordan River, and then they built up further. The ground that we are currently on, and my aunt's that lives up in the subdivision behind us, is the only one left in plots that are left in the family. Now, having said that, in this specific situation, again, rich in history, that ground was given to my grandfather as a settlement, and that document is up in the State History Archives. It's signed by Ulysses S. Grant for homesteading. That area was the park where it stands today. That was my family's. Across the street there, where the road goes in from 2200 West into the park, on that southeast corner of that was a house with a large barn. That was my great-grandfather's. In that area, a couple houses down, they had to have some sort of way to make money and survive. They opened up a broom factory, and that broom factory, they grew their corn, made the broom factory, and it actually, they served it to Zecia Mine that was shipped throughout the world. So being saying that, on 7800 South and 2200 West in the southwest corner is a monument to that. All that ground through there was part of that. Now, when you're driving down the road, especially there on the 7892, and there's one on 7940 South, you notice that the houses are back in. That specifically was for one reason. The road there used to be on the other side of the canal, and it came into those homes. At 10 years old, my grandmother ended up having appendicitis, and they took her up to Salt Lake County Hospital, which is currently to become not that, but it's the county complex. She had her appendix removed and
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the time. My name is Mark Healy. You know, my father, Dean, you know, he's just kind of touched on a little bit of our family history and what West Jordan means to us as a family. And it kind of, walking in here today, seeing the pioneers that are in statue right out front of this building, that was part of my ancestors. They helped settle our ground, 2200 West. We want to try to preserve that as much as possible, given the fact that West Jordan is expanding at such a rapid rate. West of here, west of Mountain View Corridor and beyond, we want to keep our agriculture lifestyle that we have with our privacy, with our acreage. We want to keep that as much as possible, because just as barely you guys showed, West Jordan is being zoned and zoned and zoned for more property, and we would really, really like to keep at least 2200 West how it used to be, how it should have been. And this city was founded on agriculture, it was founded on mining, it was founded on mills, and we want to keep that. Not just because we moved here 10 years ago. That's not the case. Our family has been here. We have a legacy here on that road, multi-generations, and our family has blood, sweat, and tears in that property. So I would strongly encourage the opposition to this, and we're not against rezoning. We're not against any sort of expansion or anything like that. We just think 2200 West should be a place where we can keep it as safe as possible. Living on that road, I have a hard time getting out of my driveway, which my driveway is behind the house. So you can imagine if my driveway is not actually on the road, I have to wait and make sure that there's no blind spots that can make me turn, or that can allow me to turn. And I just think that with the 4th of July being such a staple event every single year, the amount of traffic, the amount of construction, the noise that we as a community and a street would have to endure that on top of the baseball games, the fireworks, community events. We just want to keep 2200 West as safe as possible and as quiet as possible, while encouraging expansion and growth throughout the rest of the city. I just don't think next to where we are on 2200 West is worth it. And we've done our job to be good citizens of this community for generations, and we'll continue.
Thank you. Anybody else?
My name is Rolene Jukes. I live on the old Jukes Burmester farm, straight across the canal from the property that we're talking about. My husband's family has had that farm for many, many years, from when he was a child and beyond. I also grew up in West Jordan on my grandparents' farm, down off Redwood Road and 93rd South. So we're long West Jordanites, both of us. I don't have as much opposition against any building going on in there. I just feel that right now, to have that many homes added to the traffic on that road, it's easy for people who are on planning commissions and people who are in city councils to say, oh, we went and looked at it and it's not bad. But you're not there all the time. You're not there on the days. I worked at Westvale Elementary, which is just about 8600 South and 2200 West. And a lot of kids walk along that road, and it is constant traffic. It's backed up a lot. It's narrow. They put bike lanes along there. No kid rides his bike in those bike lanes. It's too dangerous because the road's too narrow for the traffic that goes on there. You have cars backed clear up on days when kids are being picked up from school. I just think, you might say, well, it's only a few more houses, but it's like having something that has been stacked and stacked and stacked on, and that last stack just goes down. And I think that's where we're heading with this kind of building. It's a great little lot to put some homes on, but does it need 6 homes on it? Does it need 4 homes on it? It's good for what's in the area the way it is. I would like to see, it's going to have less impact on me than it is the other people along 22, but it's still going to have impact on all of us who use that road and travel on it. So I'd like to have us consider that, and maybe just think of, if we can't fight to not have it at all, have it come down to where it's reasonable for all of us in the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Michael Goodman. I've only lived in West Jordan for 50 years. in the same house, 3 houses west of the city park on Buena Vista Drive. Before we add any more construction to 22nd, we've got to figure out some way to solve the problem of the traffic. It is horrendous. I've almost been hit several times as I have edged out of Buena Vista Drive, trying to turn onto 2200, trying to see around the cars that are parked on the west side, and you can't see. Many years ago, there was a tree there, and Aaron Webster cut it down so that we could actually see to make a turn. And now we have cars parked all along there. So if you're going to add more development on that street, you better solve the traffic problem first so that there are no accidents and the impact is less. I hate to think that some child at the park is going to get hit by a car on that traffic. Just coming here this evening, I had to wait to get across the street, and I looked at the traffic backed up at the tracks, all the way up past Buena Vista. So please consider that.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Bill Heiner. I've lived in West Jordan now for going on 48 years, and I've seen a lot of changes and a lot of pushback on development over the years, and I've listened to the NIMBY attitude throughout the years. In the 4 years that I was on the Planning and Zoning Commission and 10 years on the Board of Adjustments. And I understand that you may not want these homes in your backyard, but growth is going to happen no matter what. These homes that are going to be going in will be the middle housing that we're missing in our marketplace, and it will help generate, 5 lots will generate possibly 10 sales, with the starter homes moving up to the second-time homes. So I'm speaking in favor of it, and also I've seen the traffic, and I know it's tough over there, and my grandson has been playing soccer over there for the last few months, and it is horrendous in there. I don't know what else you can do, but I can't imagine 5 more houses that fit into the middle housing bracket that will help our housing shortage. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to speak? Anybody online?
Is that me? I have Ben.
Ben? Can you state your name, Ben?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. My name is Ben Prusi. I am the neighbor directly to the north of this proposed property here, and I just wanted to lend my voice in support of it. I think it's a very good idea. We do have a traffic problem here, for sure. It gets backed up during sports, but overall, it's largely just been an unused property for the past 5 years I've been here, and I think it'd be a very positive change to have a cul-de-sac there and get some nice neighbors.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anybody else online?
Nobody with their hand raised.
Nobody else has got their hand raised? Okay, if you'd like to approach the podium, then.
I'm Diane Lindsay. I would be against the proposal the way I see it, because it seems to me that the lots are so narrow that the houses that are new would be right up against the property of the already existing structures. And I think that something that would be maybe less homes in the same area would maybe answer the question about having extra homes being built and satisfy that need, as well as cutting down on traffic by a little bit. But I just know that if somebody built really close to my home, I would be upset, because when I bought my home, I had clear views out the windows and stuff like that, and the noise coming from the neighbors and such like, it just impinges on the privacy of the existing homes. That's what.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else wish to speak before I close the public hearing? Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back to the commission for comment and/or motion. However, I do want to make one little quick announcement or comment. These homes are low density. It's actually zoned for a 1.8, R18, and these are going to be more of a 110 or even 111. That's correct, right?
Yeah, it's zoned for R110, and it will be, everything's over 11,000.
So, I mean, that does meet the qualifications for what it's already zoned for. So I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. Anybody else have any more? Commissioner Allen?
Just want to clear up. I think I understand. I know, but I'll ask Megan. Is there a historic landmark on the property?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Yeah, I think just talking in general, we do have one item that we need to get to with Commissioner Hatch, and that is the fence on the back. So we need to talk through that. But we're just echoing something that Commissioner Thomas said earlier. It's simultaneously easy and hard for us up here. Easy because we have a very clear set of rules, and if it fits all of the boxes, we are obligated to say, yes, it moves forward. It's private property, meets every city code. We cannot say otherwise. Otherwise, it puts the city at some severe legal risk. And they would get to put it in anyway, in addition to the legal risk. So we have that aspect that makes it easy. Hard because we may have our own feelings and opinions and thoughts, and we understand everything that you're bringing forward. We do not have the leeway that you'd normally think of with the city council. Planning Commission is literally, it says this in the code. If they meet it, it's a box checked. Nobody can really appeal it or oppose it. So that's all I wanted to say. But as far as the fence, I'm trying to recall, we have had one fairly recently against the canal, and there was a big back and forth as to whether it be vinyl or chain link with the privacy slats. I don't remember all of the details or reasons why, so I'll pass it over to Commissioner Hatch.
Thank you. I just want to also address the city as far as the traffic on 2200 West. It sounds like this is a problem regardless of whether this development goes in or not. So I would like the city to probably address the traffic, make sure people aren't parking too close to ingress egress so that people do have line of sight. So I don't know if that can be sent somewhere to code enforcement or to traffic engineer.
I made a note, Commissioner, to talk with our traffic engineer. Just parenthetically, parking on in city right away and on the roads is a police, not a code enforcement issue.
Okay, so we do have an officer here, so he's probably well aware of that problem. Thank you all for coming and making your comments. I really appreciate it. I know time is valuable, and we want to preserve our homes where we've invested so many years of our lives and our children's lives, and we want our children to live there with us. This housing is sorely needed in West Jordan. We do have a lot of development going out west, but it is far west, and to have a home built in the city where it's close to schools, close to family, it really means a lot. And I appreciate the comment about the middle housing. This is the housing where people can move up into. This is exactly who and what we want to have in West Jordan. We want to have a well-diversified community. We want people who have lived here to have their children live here. I understand it's changed. Change is not easy. I live off of 70th South, so I know what it is to get on and off a road and how during rush hour you can wait. I don't think 5 homes is going to impact the traffic that much, and it does sound like it was already a concern prior. So I think once we get that addressed, that's a step in the right direction. As far as the narrow lots, they do have to meet code, so the homes have to be so far from the street and so far from the property behind. So the developer is in charge of making sure all of the lots meet city code. And as Commissioner Allen said, we have a very strict set of criteria. We cannot have any objective opinion or thought. Otherwise, it does become a legal problem. And so if it matches the criteria and meets everything that city is enforcing, then that is it. Every property owner has their rights. And I'm sure you bought your property from someone who owned it, and the people that were neighbors didn't like having you come in. So I think this is just a part of change. Back to the fence. Sorry, little digression there. I would propose that we just do a chain link fence and let the residents who do have homes, it looks like there's only one home really that will back onto the canal. So 1 1/4. And then they can choose if they want to vinyl that or not, and then that would be their property and they would be in charge of maintaining that.
I would concur with that also. I mean, I do think that the maintenance on a chain link fence is a lot less than the vinyl. And I don't know if you've priced fencing lately, because I have. I just put a fence in my yard. Actually, chain link is more expensive than the vinyl, so just because of the price of stuff, but yeah. But I would concur with the chain link. I think it would fit that need. And if they did want to make it with the privacy slats, I don't think that would be that big of a deal.
And just for the builder, I live along the Jordan River Parkway with vinyl fencing along 16 homes. We have graffiti there in the summertime constantly. So that's the reason, that's the reason why we're suggesting chain link. I know the city's not a fan of it, but we will request that.
Commissioner Roberts.
I just wanted to make one other comment with regard to the density and the setbacks and whatnot. I'm aware that a lot of people in the audience may not be very good at reading engineered plans, but in looking at these 2 lots that face the houses on either side, they have a 25-foot rear setback, which is actually more than what you would get if you were to build a house facing the street there with an 8-foot or 15-foot setback. So there will actually be more space between your yard and the neighboring yard than there would be if you just build a house sideways across the lot as they sit right now. So just wanted to point that out.
Okay, any more comments, or did you have a comment? Come on up.
Just regarding the fence, it's, I mean, obviously not a deal breaker, but it's been explained to me that there isn't any traffic on that side of the canal. So, I mean, obviously the concern is graffiti. The owner would like to put in a vinyl fence because it looks nicer, and believes that because there really is no traffic on that side of the canal due to the road being on the other side, that maybe that mitigates that concern.
The reason why there's the concern is the graffiti, and the graffiti happens whether there's traffic there or not.
Yeah.
But just to say, if it's only one homeowner and he already understands his obligation and the city isn't responsible for cleaning that graffiti, and that's part of the record, as long as the homeowner knows if the graffiti comes, it's his responsibility, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's well understood.
All right,
I'm No. I'm remembering back. I'm having PTSD from our last meeting on this. I think one of the reasons, because we talked about that, and it was only going to be 1 or 2 homeowners, and can we pass that liability on? But the problem was is that the homeowners don't have the right to go behind the fence in order to actually address the graffiti on the vinyl.
Without getting permission from the canal company.
Right. So that
And
could be a possibility too.
I do remember that being an issue.
He just said that the homeowner would have to get on the other side of the fence to clean that off, and that there may be no access to get over there to clean it off, and that would be the problem.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Okay. Public comments are done, sorry. Well, you know what? If you are president of the canal, we will make that exception.
You've closed the hearing, so you need to reopen the pub. I would advise not.
Okay, then, sorry. Okay, Commissioner Allen.
I'm going to ask the question on the staff side of things. Yes, the hearing's been closed, and we'll go ahead and do the motion and go through that process. Could we bring him up before the next agenda item and just ask him questions?
He actually has an item on the agenda, so you can talk to your heart's
Perfect.
content.
We can ask then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any motions? Okay. Commissioner Hatch.
I will go ahead and make a motion. I move that the Planning Commission approve the preliminary subdivision plat for the St. Marcos Circle subdivision located in the R110 zone, located at approximately 7892 and 7898 South, 2200 West, subject to the requirements of approval listed in the staff report, with the addition that the homeowner on the lawn, the yard that backs onto the canal, use a chain link fence.
Okay, we have a motion. Commissioner Gonzalez.
I will second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, carry 7-0. Okay, next on the agenda is the Victory Builders 90th South, 1300 West preliminary site plan and preliminary condo subdivision. And looks like Tanner Hansen is the applicant. If you're here, come on.
Tanner Hansen, Victory Builders. We're doing a business complex off 90th South, 13th West, 36 units there. Perfect for a small business. And I think West Jordan is in need of keeping small businesses in West Jordan. Perfect fit for them. Each unit's 1,500 square feet. We do meet all code requirements. We feel like it's a great fit for the area.
Any questions for the applicant? Commissioner Allen.
Why are there vehicles inside some of the units? Is it just for scale?
Yeah, just for sales, but there are 14-foot garages in front, so they can use that area. They can pull a car in if they needed to.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, we'll call you up if we have any more. Thank you. Taylor?
Yeah, thank you, Chair and Commission. I think Tanner really addressed most of it, but I did just want to echo, this is a really unique property. We've had a lot of concepts come in over the years, and this is by far, I think, the best one. We went through the rezone to help accommodate this with the lot coverage. It's a really good use for people that are transitioning from home-based business, but they're not quite big enough to go to a big industrial lot. And then if you are familiar with our codes, it's really difficult to find places to park commercial vehicles in the city. So if you have a plumbing company or something and you want to have a shop where you can pull your vehicle in, this does a good job of accommodating that. So we as staff, we support this. Like you mentioned, they do meet all of the code requirements. They are attractive buildings, and we do recommend approval. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Commissioner Allen.
Could you go back to the drawing? Is there no setback on the north and west? Sorry, the map plat. Yes. Is there no setback on those structures on the north and west sides?
That's correct.
So the building will be right up to the property line?
Yes.
That meets code?
Yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Roberts.
I just wanted to see, I don't see anything in the notes about the design review committee's comments on this. And I remember there were some, I just don't remember what they were specifically. I just was curious if they've been addressed.
I know the design review committee recommended approval. I had printed out my all my notes on this, and I left it at my desk. But this
Yeah.
did comply with everything. I know we did. Say. Oh yeah. So is what the concern was is I remember now. The buildings needed to have a separation between some of the structures so that you could get a fire hose close enough to the distance, or have fire sprinklers, and that has been taken care of.
Okay,
Are you
thanks.
hearing something else?
Yeah,
I think there was an
Not
aesthetic
mine.
concern too,
Yeah,
but that's,
the corner facades, I think they
yeah,
wanted.
the corner facades, that was the one I could remember.
On both sides.
I think we wanted to change the facade on the edge of 17 to match 1 because it would be visible through the Home Depot parking lot or something.
Yes, that has been addressed. I forgot about that.
Okay, thanks. I just wanted to make sure that that was covered since it wasn't mentioned.
Well, as long as we got the fire hoses taken care of, I mean, we're good, right? Okay, any other questions for staff? Okay, we will go ahead and open this up for a public hearing. If you wish to speak on this item, you'll be given 3 minutes. Please state your name. If you're online, please raise your hand, or on the phone, *9.
There are no hands raised online.
Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back up to the commission for comment and/or motion. Don't everybody jump in at once.
Am I, like, I'm going to be 0 for 5 or something tonight?
Okay, Commissioner Hatch.
I move that the Planning Commission approve a 36-unit condo plat for Victory Builders located at 90,000 South, 1300 West, subject to all requirements of approval.
We have a motion. Commissioner Roberts?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay,
I move that the Planning Commission approve a preliminary site plan for Victory Builders located at approximately 9,000 South, 1300 West, subject to all requirements of approval.
Okay, we have a motion. Commissioner Roberts?
I will second that again.
And a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, carries 7-0. Okay, next is the public hearing with Planning Commission recommendations to the City Council for final action. This is Parker Place 2, 1739 West, Drake Lane, future land map amendment for .6275 acres from professional office to medium-density residential and rezone from P-O professional office zone to R1-5 single-family, 5,000 square foot lot minimum. Gary Cannon. Now we might have some questions for you.
Respected commissioners and staff, my name is Gary Cannon. I reside at 1397 West, 134 South in Riverton. As important, I've been a business owner in this town of West Jordan for coming on 30 years. I own a small real estate office on 90th South and 13th West, where my grandparents moved in 1935 from the small town of Ibapaw, Utah. I'm proud to be standing here tonight. I'm probably not the biggest developer in your town, but I certainly have been involved in a number of what I feel are successful subdivisions dating back over 30 years ago. Probably the one I'm most proud of is some of you were involved in the approval of, and I had a keen ear in listening to what the public wanted, as well as having meetings with the neighborhood on Brinkerhoff Bluffs off of 13th West. When I met with the council a few weeks ago, two or three of them resounded in thanking me for bringing such, and I was a partner in it, so I can't take all the credit, but I know that Jay, it's a neighbor of Jay's and Trish's, and I'm very, very proud of what we took was a tough piece of property, and we turned it into, I think, a very well improved property for the neighborhood and the residents. I appreciate your service. I'm also a servant to my city in Riverton. I've been on the Planning Commission for 6 years, so I appreciate the time and the volunteer that you guys put in, the efforts. This particular project, seems like people will come to me when they need a small infill project done. Take considerable more time and effort on my part to get them through, but I like to find when I'm done that we've done a good job. This is one, when we changed the zoning, I had to assemble 4 different properties, and we thought that it'd be a great addition to the area to put in some neighborhood commercial. Didn't take off like we thought it would. So we came back and we're revisiting now, putting in 4 single-family homes. The average lot size of these lots are more than what are on the north side of the street. I know that 3 of these for certain will accommodate 3-car garages. 2 of them could accommodate detached garages in the back. So we've got some room for, it's still a 5,000, but they all exceed that, and the square footage averages more than that on the north. When we improved this property, we over-improved. We did more than what the city asked us to do. This is a public street. It meets the width requirements. There was a storm drain line that was fine, and it accommodates West Jordan stormwater from 2200 West and back to the east down to the Jordan River. We replaced it at a cost of $40,000. I think now it'd probably be triple that. So this was a 25-foot dirt road for a long time. Now the 2 property owners in the back, I'm not ever anticipating the Drakes or the other gentleman who lives down there selling. I'm not saying they're going to, but I know that what I did to improve that road significantly increased the property value of both of their properties. So I'm asking for your questions and any that I can answer. I also, I've got 24 miles of canal. I've been the president of South Jordan Canal for 7 years. I've been on the board for 23. I'm also vice president of Utah Lake Water Users Association. Yes, my wife is very angry at me, and it's not because I'm good, it's because I don't know how to say no. But I'm ready for any questions you love to field.
Questions for the applicant?
I do have a couple. I drove past Brinkerhoff Bluffs tonight and thought of you, and it is a very, very nice development. I had my doubts, seriously I think I may have even voted no. Who knows? But you exceeded my expectations, so thank you, you and your partners. Drake Lane, I don't know if Mrs. Drake would agree that it's been quite as smooth sailing for her. She's had some headaches to deal with, but I'm glad to see that you're involved in this because I think you more than anyone will take care of the Drake's needs and make sure this is a quality development. So I'm glad to see that you've stepped up to take this, even though your wife may not feel the same way.
Thanks, Trish.
And then when we're done with this item, I would love to hear more information about the canal.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, we'll call you up if we have any more.
Thank you.
Taylor?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'll just touch on a couple things. So here's our current zoning map. So you can see it's a PO zone. It's next to some R18. which is also what the elementary school zoned, and then across the street is a little portion of PO, but that's a much larger lot. If we look at the future land use map, we can see where the Majestic Elementary is. That's actually currently future land used as public facilities. To the south is some more professional office, and then to the north is that medium density residential, which is what they're proposing to go to. We've already seen their 4-lot subdivision concept. All of these lots in this concept do exceed 5,000 square feet. They also all are in excess of the 55-foot minimum frontage. If this were to be approved, obviously this would have to come back through a subdivision process, but one thing that is different from this than the properties across the street is across the street they don't have full 22-foot driveways, and this would require a 22-foot driveway as well for all of these homes. These lots are deep enough they could easily accommodate that, so that was part of the concern with the cottages was there had to be street parking, but this would provide for that. So kind of here is at a glance, if after your action tonight, this will go to the city council for public hearings and final action on the future land use map and the rezone. The preliminary plat, because it's a minor subdivision, will be a staff level approval, as will the final plat and building permits. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for staff? Okay. You're off the hook for at least right now. All right, we'll go ahead and open this up for public comment. This has been noticed as public hearing. Again, you'll be given 3 minutes to speak. Please approach the podium and state your name.
Is there a timer?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Jeanette Drake. My address is 1856 West Drake Lane. My son Daniel Drake and I own Drake Family Farms Goat Dairy, a Utah Century farm established in 1880. We are one of 2 properties directly west of Parker Place subdivision, which need open access to Drake Lane for customers, employees, deliveries, horse trailers, and a cement business. Drake Lane has a lot of traffic even before the Parker Place homes were built. I want to thank you for your service as members of the Planning Commission. I know it's a lot of work and your representation is important. It is your responsibility to see that city code is followed. I provided you with a news story featuring our farm and the USDA helping family farms. It was aired 1 week ago by Ben Winslow for Fox 13 News. Obviously, I am passionate about my farm and helping our customers, many of whom depend on goat milk products for their health. Since Gary Cannon purchased property from the Parker and Pearson families and submitted his first plan on January 10th, 2017, I've been to numerous public meetings. This is my file of comments that my husband and I have made, and it's really been an ordeal. Originally, the senior overlay was implemented because Drake Lane cannot support additional traffic. That was my understanding. And there's been 3 different builders, and nearly everything in the original plan was changed. Ron granted a right-of-way for emergency vehicles. There was no compensation, but lots of inconvenience. There were no pre-construction meetings about changes to our irrigation ditches, which is a violation of city code, I later found out, and our rights as shareholders in the South Jordan Canal Company. And that's interesting since Gary Cannon is the president of that. For several years, nothing happened except to destroy our gravel lane, and then for an entire summer, we had an awful detour. We couldn't even use the lane. We lost a lot of money. And I had email a picture of a cement curb that was made across our lane. That is just a symbol of many other mistakes. And this mistake was fixed with West Jordan taxpayer money. 3 times the various builders went to the city to change the zoning, and 3 times the proposal was rejected by the city planners, the Planning Commission, and twice by the City Council. But on January 24th, 2024, the city council voted 7-0 to remove the restriction. As part of this,
Your time's up. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? Anybody online, raise your hand.
I don't see any hands raised.
Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it up back to the commission for comment and/or motion.
I have a question, sorry. Taylor, I recognize the Drake family, and they've been through a lot with this the previous development. I mean, my history is, I started when this all started. And I understand that Gary Cannon, he's the developer, and so if I can just say anything on the record is please be respectful of the Drake's needs and make sure that their generosity and their willingness to work with the city is not in any way a regret. I think she's had some regrets over the past on how things have gone, so just to be aware of that. That's my only comment.
I would echo that also. I've been on here for quite a few years too, and I remember listening to a lot of those hearings also. So.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, make a motion.
Close it out. I move that the planning, oh, you have it up there, Taylor. Thank you. I move that the Planning Commission recommend approval to the City Council for the proposed general plan amendment changing the designation of approximately 0.63 acres from professional office to medium-density residential, subject to all requirements of approval.
We have a motion, Commissioner Gonzalez.
I will second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, carries 7-0.
I move that the Planning Commission recommend approval to the City Council for the proposed rezone of approximately 0.63 acres from professional office PO to single-family residential 5,000 square foot minimum lots R15 to the West Jordan City Council, subject to all requirements of approval.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
I will second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that carries 7-0. And that concludes. Just 1 minute. Commissioner Gonzalez.
I will make a motion that we adjourn our meeting.
We are now adjourned.